If you heard about someone doing $170,000 a month with about 1 hour of work per day, you'd probably think this is impossible. Most people would think that they're always on the clock working 24/7, but what if I told you that I'm on track to do over $2 million this year working 1 hour per day? Now, I'm going to get into some extremely valuable and actionable advice on how I've actually set things up like this, but trust me, it wasn't always this way. So when I was 18 years old, I was working at Walgreens for $8.50 an hour. You're probably doing the same thing, working for less than you should be right now. And if you're anything like me, I was tired of working those 8-hour long soul-sucking days where I just felt drained at the end of the day and I felt like I hadn't accomplished anything. I felt like I was on the right path to success, but to be honest, I was completely wrong. I had no control, I had no freedom, and all I really wanted was the ability to work on things that I was actually passionate about. But fast forward to today, and I'm only working about an hour a day on the business that I want to break down a little bit for you guys. And the best part about all this is I have way more control over my time, and my money is no longer connected to how many hours I work. I've created the freedom boosting business that I always dreamed of, and in today's video I want to show you how you can set up the exact same thing, because I'm going to share my step-by-step process to working less hours as you continue to make more and more money. And it all boils down to 3 major strategies that you can implement in your business no matter what niche you're in, but I'm also specifically going to be talking about how I've implemented in my business in case you run a similar business. And I also want to challenge you to think about the life where you have total freedom. You don't have to go punch the time clock anymore. How would your life change? Who would you get to hang out with more? What kind of hobbies and passions would you want to spend that time on instead? Because when I was that underpaid young guy, I knew I had more potential, so I started reading books like Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek. If you're an entrepreneur, I'm sure you've at least heard of that book before, because I'm going to break down the exact strategies that the top entrepreneurs use. I've implemented all of these strategies, and people like my friend Nick right here. I got the chance to talk to him and interview him for the channel recently, and what I really love about Nick's story is that he's still working a 9-to-5 job. His business is just buying and reselling products on Amazon. He told me he works every night starting at 8 p.m. He works for a few hours and is able to still do 7 figures selling on Amazon with some of these strategies that I'm going to give you today. So if you're ready to do the same to free up time to spend on higher leverage opportunities or just spending more family time, let's get into step 1 of the process. For me, the most important part of getting significant work done and just generally accomplishing way more in the average hour than most people can, that all starts with setting yourself up for success in the right way. And so for most of you guys, that's literally as simple as putting the phone to the side, put it on do not disturb, flip it on its face for an hour, throw it across the room, whatever you got to do to not check Twitter or Instagram for the next little bit. That's what you need to do to really set up your brain to not be distracted by all the dopamine hits that we can get from our phones and real life distraction. I'm also a huge fan of sort of conditioning myself into knowing when it's time to accomplish a lot of work all at once. Some people call this deep work. And for me, that starts with just simply throwing on some music. So whether that be your favorite jams, I like to just listen to some stuff without music. Or if you've never listened to it before, trust me on this one, go look up Big Booty Mix. I know it's got a crazy name, but trust me, there's nothing that you can't accomplish in an hour with no distractions. You got some tunes blasting and you're just deep in the lab working on your business. Another really important aspect of figuring out what you're actually going to be able to get done is setting realistic goals for yourself, right? So this can be short-term goals, and especially for most of you who are business owners, it can be really daunting for there to just always be a massive list of things that could be done. So it's important to set reasonable goals with yourself. And if you think you're working less or way more than you should be, set your goals using this framework. Whether your task is sourcing products to sell online or making a YouTube video like this, set up a goal that you know you can hit. Accomplish that goal for the first day, the first couple weeks, whatever that time horizon is. For example, when I first started my YouTube channel, my goal was to consistently make 1 video a week. Most of the social media algorithms and everything like that loves consistency. You mentally are going to be able to stay consistent much longer term if you are also setting yourself up for a consistent due date with yourself, even if it doesn't have to be done. Telling yourself that, hey, I'm going to find 1 new product every single day that I'm going to sell on Amazon. Or hey, I'm going to make 1 new TikTok video for my brand every other day. Whatever that goal is, set a goal that you know you can hit, accomplish it, and then increase that goal as it gets too easy for you. For example, now on the YouTube channel, you'll probably notice that we're posting 2 long videos a week and we post a short video every single day. And if me and my team ever get super comfortable with the cadence of doing 3 videos a week, maybe we will. For now, 2 is super accomplishable for us, so we're going to keep going because it's something we know we can consistently keep doing. And as you're setting these goals, it's super important to start writing these goals down. I'm sure you've probably heard this before, but people who write down their goals are way more likely to actually achieve the things that they set out to do versus the person who just mentally has that goal list or that to-do list. So when it comes to setting these realistic goals and timelines, that's also going to take me into the second key strategy that I use to save a ton of time and make way more money per hour, and that's by leveraging software. And specifically for me, I run a 7-figure Amazon business, so I want to quickly break down the tools that help me save a ton of time, and that starts with the simple tool that I use to track my goals and my to-do list, which is called Todoist. But the thing that I like about using Todoist is I can can schedule certain to-do items to show up in the future. Because for me, I like to have a very concrete set to-do list for me to work through every day. And just because there's something that I need to do doesn't necessarily mean that I need to do it today. And having a big giant to-do list where you never complete the whole thing really can just make you feel very overwhelmed. So Todoist is a fantastic tool and it's definitely increased my productivity. I also use task management tools like Asana with my virtual assistants and employees, which, by the way, hiring and buying some of your time back is another key strategy I'm going to break down for you guys. But I also use tools called Keepa and SellerAmp. SellerAmp is one of my other companies that I spend a lot of time and energy on, and everything that I'm breaking down helps me continue to deliver as much valuable as possible to people who already use SellerAmp. I also use a tool called Be Cool, which manages all the Amazon products that I have automatically for me. So I can go in and I can set preset pricing rules where it automatically changes my prices over time and continues to make me sales while I'm not having to sit in there and change my prices manually. I definitely did that for way too long. And even if you're not in the Amazon industry, I'm sure there's probably a tool like that where you could go spend 25 bucks a month and save yourself a ton of time. It's worth it. And if you're really on the advanced side of things, I also like to use two tools called Linear and Figma. Those are awesome tools that help me create ideas and share those with my team in our software company. So no matter what your business is, make sure you're using the right tools for the job. Invest in the tools that are going to increase your hourly, because at the end of the day, that's what being a business owner is all about, is having the flexibility to make a lot more money that you can then use to buy your own time back. And on that topic, and the third key strategy I want to break down for you guys is when to actually start thinking about hiring people. So for me, when I started hiring my team, it was a fantastic decision. I'm so glad that I did hire people to come in. And originally when I started hiring people was when I was just simply needing help finding more products to sell in my Amazon store. I was a full-time student at the time. I was doing about $30,000 a month on Amazon. And obviously balancing all that at once, it was really difficult. So I started hiring virtual assistants from the Philippines. And for me, making that decision was really simple. Here's a quick decision-making process that you should probably use before you start thinking about hiring. And it's simple, right? So can I hire someone to do almost as good of a job as I can do, or even better, and I can pay them way less per hour than I think I can be making? So for example, when I hired my virtual assistant to start finding some products for me to sell on Amazon, I was able to hire that virtual assistant for about $4 an hour. And obviously the skill set that I had built where we were doing about $30,000 a month, that's worth a whole lot more than $4 an hour. So I was able to teach my virtual assistant exactly what I was doing, showing them exactly how I find all my products, and then they were able to replicate those results for me. And I bought my time back because obviously I was making more than $4 an hour finding products. And so now that I had hired someone to do it for me, I get to pocket the difference there. There's also a ton of value in hiring third-party providers or even agencies to help your business, no matter what it is. For example, in my Amazon business, I started hiring what are called prep centers to receive and ship out all of the products that we're buying to sell on Amazon. For example, in my business, we buy stuff like this pair of shoes right here. We can buy them for $24 on clearance, and then we can turn around and sell that exact same product on Amazon for about $54. And as part of that process, Amazon requires us to do a little bit of extra prep work to send those products to Amazon. In the early days, I was putting in the elbow grease, putting stickers on everything, shipping it all off to Amazon myself. But for Amazon businesses, there are things called prep centers that receive all of those products for you and then ship it off to Amazon on our behalf. So instead of those long nights up till 10 p.m. throwing stuff in boxes, working really hard, now I'm just able to ship those items to a state with no sales tax. So not only do I save a little bit of money on sales tax, I also save the time and effort of actually prepping all that inventory myself. And maybe you're into something like TikTok Shop, it might make sense for you to start contacting agencies who can help you create content. And especially with doing things like hiring agencies, there can be a ton of value in hiring an expert in your field where it might not necessarily be the cheapest thing in the world, but it can really be a massive boost for your business. And why not use that income that you have coming in to invest in yourself and grow into the future? Because at the end of the day, running a business is great for the cash flow aspect, but if you ever want to have a chance at having a sellable asset out of your business, it's really good to have employees and third-party help or agencies doing a lot of the work for you so that your business is more approachable as a viable asset. At the end of the day though, for my business and for your business as well, there's going to be a lot of hard work involved in the beginning. So if you clicked on this video and you're looking for that next get rich quick method, I have some unfortunate truth for you, and that is simply that it is just not possible unless you gamble and predict the next GameStop. And if you have any interest in building your own profitable Amazon business, that's what the majority of my content is about. I've made you a full free guide that a lot of the gurus out there would try to charge a ton of money for, and I'll leave that up here for you. If you did get value from this video, please feel free to subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff helps me out with the algorithm. Let me know if you have any questions or comments as well. I'm always super happy to chat with you guys down below. But I really appreciate you watching this video, and the YouTube algorithm thinks that you need to watch this video next to start making some money online, so go ahead and check it out.